so you can hear me loudly now. So again, good day. Today's meeting is, I have already given you an outline. What are the things that we are going to do? So this is to help you also for those teams that has a problem of tutorials, some tutorials in the YouTube na you have to follow some different authors and then you have to incorporate it with your work. So naiuban na naglisod to incorporate those two tutorials in one project. So kani I'll be helping you to set up everything from Bootstrap, from some plugins that we are going to use like data tables or MySQL connections and all. So we will start with the landing page. Then after that, we have to also put a login page. Then create a user account, a user table user for our database. Then we will create a script to in order for our login script will work. So hopefully that's our goal this morning. Then afternoon we have a set of series of outline to accomplish. So hopefully you can stay with me until 5 p.m. We will just stop during noon break for us to take our lunch. Okay, so first is we have to check if we have server like SAMP, WAMP, LAMP. So in my case, I have a lot of servers installed in my machine. By the way, can you show or can you see my screen? Okay lang. Okay. Just give me a feedback. For those latecomers, maybe you cannot see me. My camera turns blue because I set it up. I only have one camera using my laptop. So I use the camera for the recording purpose. So if you can, if I will upload this recorded session, you can see me there. Right now, all you need to do is to show, see what I'm working and also my instruction. So don't feel free to unmute your mic and then ask me questions regarding those na murag video. Okay, for me to also share it with you correctly. So again, I have a server like SAMP. It's up to you what server that you have used in your machine. I have also WAMP. I have also SAMP. So I'll be using this SAMP on my drive C. Okay, manual lang na ako. I will just turn on my control panel. So make sure to run the two servers like Apache and MySQL. Once you have run it, focus on the htdocs folder, right? And then you can create now your project directory. So I'll be creating Capstone as a project directory. So by the way, for those who are using cell phones, is my screen enough for you to see? Or please reklamo lang so I can turn it much more bigger like that. So let me know. Okay lang ba? Okay, especially to okay, sige. Let me know if you have okay. Make sure na lang i-landscape na lang ninyo in your phone for you to see it clearly. So we have Capstone Directory. This is the things that we have. This is the project folder that we are going to look into each time. So we have to also organize our project directory. So to do that, we have to create a series of folders like CSS, images. Okay, we have JavaScript, GS. Okay, and then we can also create script. So we have to create folders in order for us to really organize our dependents, our library. So parang dili ta malibog asa ta ibutang, we who are going to make it much more organized. Okay, so probably these are the things that really will group into our resources like CSS for our styling, images for our repository of our images that we're going to use, JS, which is be used also for JavaScript functionalities, Bootstrap also using that one, and then script, PHP script, because we have also forms like our forms that we use, we see visually, but we have also script that we cannot see, but it will function or run. So first is we have to embed Bootstrap in our project directory. So I downloaded already Bootstrap. Okay, where is it? I'll be grouping it by name of this person. Sort by date modified. What makes it name? Groups, extra, list. Then wait for a minute. Sort by date modified. Okay. Bootstrap. Sort by date modified. Group by. So I have here Bootstrap 4.0. Okay, distribution. So we can extract this file, and we can see inside of that folder. Where is it? Okay, Bootstrap for distribution. Yeah, this one. So as you can see here, we have the list of the CSS file and the GS file. Okay, so for the CSS file and the GS file, all we need to do is to only grab only one. If you are going to select minified.css, that means you cannot change what is inside that file. And this one for Bootstrap, we can change it. We can, if you have revisions later on that file, you can see it, right? You can change it. You can right click that one. It is a normal file. You can read it. It is not minimized. Whatever you can change it, you can change it. But if you can use this minified version of CSS, you cannot no longer change it. Okay, because it is only one script of code. It's being minimalized. So for me, if the development side, probably I'll be using this Bootstrap.css only. So I will copy it and go to our folder where our project directory is was saved. So some htdocs, and we have our Capstone, and we put here CSS. So we have here, that's our CSS. Okay, and then going back to other folder, there is a GS here. So the same thing I will going to grab is the bootstrap.gs. That's one. Okay, later on, if you are now going to deploy your application, probably you are going to use that mean. Okay, so you have GS. Okay. Now, if we go to, we already have set up our JavaScript, JavaScript and CSS for Bootstrap. So if we Google it, there are many templates of of Bootstrap. So if you go to Bootstrap for template, there it's already there. You can only use all. You can just change the layout, the colors. You can do whatever you want. Like here, you can use this cover page. It's up to you what you're going to use. So it's already there. All we need to do is to copy and paste it na lang if you want to, and change it the color or the layout. Simple lang siya. So for you, you can download Bootstrap 4. Okay, and if you go to google.com, Bootstrap 4, and we go to download, and then we go to download, and then we can select bunch of we have compiled css.js, the bundle file doesn't include the documentation, source files, and JavaScript. So wala ni, so muna akong gi-download a while ago. Pero we can have the source file. You should require you could develop in Bootstrap and its documentation that is like suitable for own purposes. So kato na yung mga example katong ilang taon na ganina to ng mga cover page, dashboard na dito. Pwede makita ni matanan. So pwede ni i-download ni siya. And you can see see not the same kaysa sa ganiha. Kay ang imo makita ni is some bunch of folders. Kita nimo some bunch of folders. Like okay, not in the distribution like this one. So Bootstrap 4, you can have a lot of folders, right? So ganiya, we only need to see is the distribution. In here we can have the documentations like docs. We have 4.0, and we have examples. So these are the examples for Bootstrap 4.0 that we can use too. So we can use cover, we can use whatsoever things that we are going to use that probably natay starting template natay pwede to magamit. So for me, for example, I'll be using the cover. Nakita man nato to example nato dire, diba? Bootstrap for template, you can see it here. That is the look for that cover. So kay dito di man nato ma-view man good, but these are the looks. If you go to album, pricing, checkout, product, cover, carousel, blog, dashboard, we have sign in, sticky footer, and sticky navbar. Mo nito makita a graphical example because in here we can see only the sources. Okay, so if I want to use the cover, all we need to do is to open the folder and grab it. We have index with .++. These are the bunch of source codes that we go to for this index.html for the cover. So we can grab it in our page like this one. We can grab it, we can copy, and we can paste it in here inside of our directory. We have index. Okay, so once we are running, so all we need to do is just change this index.html to index.php because we are now running in the server side. Then what we are going to do is to open a web browser, and to localhost. Then we have our project directory is Capstone. So as you can see there, we have this page. What is actually the source code of this page. Okay. If you delete this one, save it, and you open this file, it will make it empty. So meaning this file, it's working. We are now running the Capstone directory and we have here the branch of folder. So all we need to do in here is to connect all these CSS. Okay, so we know that our folder is beside of this one, of this file, so we all have CSS, and we know that we did not use the minified version, so just bootstrap.css. So now when we refresh, we have now this nice one, layouted page. We can definitely tell that our Bootstrap CSS is being connected with our page, but we have lacking parts. Like in here, we can see that this is the layout of the entire cover, but in here still not the same. Okay, so going back to the directory of the cover, as you can see, there is a cover.css that really makes it unique. Okay, to some Bootstrap coding or snippet. So all we need to do is to copy this one, you copy this file, and after copying that file, you go to the CSS, and in my case, like this my technique, I'll be creating folder template for me to know that this inside is all the templates I've used in Bootstrap. Then I'll be put it cover.css. Okay, then after that, all I need to do is add the skip here, link href. Okay, CSS, we have template and cover.css. Real is equal to style sheet. Okay, save. Then we can now refresh. Okay, so as you can see here, we have now a good the same example, the same layout for our example cover. So same na. So all we need to do is to change whatever the system name you have here, what are the features that are available in here in your system. You can change the content whatsoever. It's up to you. You can change it, but you have the layout. It helps you a lot in layouting. So it makes your work as a layout or a UI designer much more easy to accomplish. So change them. You can change the color if you want to. You can add image if you want to in here. Mga uban pod, they will use the carousel. Like this one, they will use the carousel image like this one for you to really go have a nice interactive landing page. It's up to you. So how you're going to do that. So any questions so far? Any question? Any question, guys? Accept. Okay. Accept na. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, any questions? Can we try it? It's easy, no? Because it's only for your CSS. How about we will going to try like implement katong naatay Bootstrap for template. What if we will use the carousels one kaning naatay like katong mga information systems nindot na tong may mga carousel. So what if kanitong gamiton what we are going to do? So it's still the same. If this one is we're going to use, all we need to do, okay, is go back. If we go to the again, asa na ito na makita, no? If you download the Bootstrap 1.0, not the distribution file, katulad yun imong i-select is only this source, download source, not the this one download only. So download source, when you download that one, you can see a bunch of files. Like when you extract that one, we have the folder. We go directly to the docs, and we go to 4.0. We go to examples, and we can see all the examples. So we are going to look into the carousel. Like we have now the carousel. All we need to do is to copy this file. This one you copy, and then we go to our source directory. Like for our Capstone htdocs, we go to Capstone, and then we have here, we will just delete this one, and then paste natin the newly one, which is the carousel. Then you have to change it to that PHP. Once you have not that one, you go to edit with Notepad++ or your text editor. Okay, by the way, okay, then for a while.
Mami, nakakasalaw na. Ato na siya matulog na.
Kanina lang tanan mo. Alayhon. Alayhon. Okay. Okay, so sorry for that. So all we need to do is to refresh. So we have now the content that we copied. So open this one in Notepad++, and you can see here we have Bootstrap template. Oh, it's not the one that we are kanihan na to. So going back in here, right click, edit with Notepad++. Okay, so we have here it will look into the carousel.css. The next is it will look into the Bootstrap min. Okay, then we have also, since this is JavaScript functionality, this is the things that really do ilang kinahanglan po. It requires the jQuery, because you cannot use the JavaScript if you don't have jQuery. Then we have all these things na kinahanglan for this page will run to. So ito siyang hinahinayan. Right? First, we go at the top first, and we will try to fix first the layout. Okay, we're going to fix first the layout. So first is the Bootstrap. We know that it is the same with the folder. In here, we have here CSS, then index. We have same level of directory, so we have to put here CSS. And we know that the file that we are looking into is not that minified. We only have bootstrap.css. That is why we have to remove the minified. So once we save that one, all we need to do is to refresh. So we have now the layout that we need to. Layout na. So it's now the Bootstrap is working, but we have to make it much more nicer, like the one that we see in here. We need to include the carousel.css. So right now we copy this one and go paste it in our directory, Capstone. CSS and then template. We can paste it here, carousel.css. The next thing we're going to do is go to the source code, and we have already the carousel.css, but this time it is placed inside the CSS folder, and we have template folder. So once we do that, we refresh. As you can see now, we have the same look and feel that we had on our example page for our carousel. So may kulang na lang is the how to make it to be effective and have a function. When we click this one, there's no carousel yet. Because when we click, there is an animation that slides into. Right here, wala pa. It is because we have lacking codes for JavaScript. Okay? In order for us also to see what is the error on this page, we always go to inspect elements. And there is an error also. You can see all the errors for the certain pages. You go to console, and you can see here what are those links, or we call it some errors that this page has a problem. It is also the same like programming, that there is a specific there is a console where you can see asa nakita ang problema. But if you are not familiar with this on this functionality in Google Chrome, dili nimo siya magamit. So always inspect elements, especially if you are using JavaScript. This is where I am always look into when there is a problem in a page, because you can see what are the available errors, like page not found, like the resources that proper, that mean bootstrap, that mean proper. Those are the things really want this file to be working. Okay, so since then we can also check it, diba, in the top bottom part in here, sa itong mga kulang like jQuery main. Okay, so 3.2 slim, you can use it as CDN, content delivery network. Online lang siya, but the problem is if you're going to develop it using the CDN, what will happen if you don't have internet connection? It will not took effect. So not all the time we develop our system has internet connection, so that is a problem. For us, siguro we have to tend to go to the internet, and we going to download. First is the jQuery library. You can go to the jQuery.com, and we can see the source code. We can download. Okay, we can download the 3.60. As you can see here, 3.2 is only the requirements, but the latest one is 3.6. Okay, so we can download the latest one. It's okay mo po. And we can download compressed, production, and compressed. For me, right now, I'll be compressed means minified. So right now, I will be using download the uncompressed development. So in here, this is the code for the .cs, .gs. This one, we can copy. We can copy, and we can go to our Notepad++ and paste it here all the codes that we need to. Then we save it. We will place it into our source directory, where natas drive C, no? Drive C, SAMP, then we have htdocs, then we have Capstone, then we have JS. We have to save it jQuery 3.6.js. It will turn green. Okay, that means that it's a JS file. So you have already downloaded the jQuery library. So all we need to do in here is to change this one to local. Skip lang na to. It is saved inside the GS folder. Going back here, it is saved on the GS folder, and we have here jQuery.36.gs. So GS and that one. Save. Now refresh. In here, going back to inspect element, nabay problema siya sa ato ang GS, so wala na siya problema sa GS. Okay, so next thing that we are going to solve in our is this one, the minify, the bootstrap min.gs. So this is local. How we are going to do that, we can change also, instead of where that one, we have gs bootstrap.min. So now when we refresh it, we have that one. No, sorry, this is the one that we are working with. Refresh, right click, inspect element, go to console. You can no longer see here the bootstrap min, no? Sorry, bootstrap, because I am working with bootstrap. Yeah, still no, wala mo to yung min on bootstrap. It is bootstrap on bootstrap. Sorry for that. Refresh. Now inspect element, console. So you can no longer see here bootstrap as an error. And as you can see also, you can now have this functionality. So all you need to do only to function the carousel, you have to download the jQuery library. And the next thing is also the excuse me.
Muna ba ba? Pila to ka subject atong transfer mo?
Opat.
Apat ka pa. Nya sa mo itong ba ang subject ang
Dua.
So 4 times pila kayo na?
One na siya ron? 28.
Times 5 yapon to. Kanan so upat 20 na.
Ito kung ipaidat yung mamariling komento na.
So wala to'y conflict in schedule?
Na ito'y conflict. Ako itong ipa-change og 2 to 3 daan na lang. Para hindi mo conflict.
Managin na nag-apply.
Okay. Nag-concourse na ako. Okay. So any question, guys? Nakuha lang ninyo. So what we need to do is to really work. First is we have to work, fix some errors for migrating our bootstrap to our project. And after that, if that is working already, you can now change all the things here. You can now change. So you can now change your system in this one. You can now change in this instead of carousel, you can or record management system, save, refresh. So you have that one. You can change whatever you want, the layout, the things that you needed. To change the color for this one, if you want it to make it much more, you want it make it blue. So all this is my technique. I'll inspect it. This is the color. This is the element that I am targeting with. Siguro this one. Okay. Then I have here the color background. Say blue or whatever. Say nindot for you or whatever the things that for your system. So that's it, diba? All we need to do is I'll copy this one. I'll copy. And after that, I'll be on my CSS folder. I am going to create here a file like my customize. .css. So, gina-customize na ako. So, open, edit with Notepad++. So, already, this is the thing that I edit na usay kong ganahan na color diri. So, usay kong ganahan, I managed to look into that element. Okay, once I have looked into that element, I'll click a color for that. I want it to change, or like yellow to change like that one. So if that is the case, I will copy this already. I'll copy it and paste it on my customized file. I save it. Then after that, I'll go to index where the file need that. Instead, you have carousel.css. I'll be also adding the other file like the my customized. That is my customized.css. Save, refresh. So that's now your look and feel. So na-change na siya into yellow, what color you want to do that. So ganahan kaning itom, you can do that one. You select that element, okay. Then you can see iyang karaang design default CSS now change into that one with the file of customized.css. Wala na siya nagadepend sa bootstrap.css. This is where it feels. So kani siya na design na coding, it's inside the bootstrap.css line 6147. So right now gistan na to siya sa to ang customized CSS atong gi-replace siya sa to ang file na my customized.css line number 1. So all we need to do is to look into the color if you want to. So may color niya ganahan ka white so you can change it o pwede ba naman mabutangan sa gray color 000. So you can do wala no effect, so we have to change into like that one. You see the color is white, we can change it to black. So na kay connection, na kay changes, all we need to do if na kay changes, we copy it and paste it on the customized CSS. Kaya nga nila ito na sa i-save na sa may tabo. What we are going to inspect elements, it will just be removed into if ma-refresh na to. Like for example, this one color, if we don't want to change it, for example that one, then imura na siya hit sagdaan, then pag refresh nimo mawala lang siya. To me much for us na to be steady enough. So all we need to do, you can change it, just hover the elements that you are going to select, then after that you have that one, you copy everything here, you paste it on your customized file, save. You don't need to worry because you already did connecting the index that's that PHP on your customized file. So you don't worry not to always check all this file is connected with the index.php already. So now once you refresh, your design or layout is no longer is steady na, speaks already. So all you need to do is that one. If you change the layout and the colors, you can really want to, as long as you can use this approach. Okay, because if you don't want to, if it is removed tanan, it will just go back to normal, which is malibog mo. It will go back to the we call it sa silpan panimo, you have your factory setting. But because you want to customize it, this is the one when you reset. Okay. So it's have to press atong before na you have to really go into that file. Any questions so far, guys, for the CSS? Any question? Kaptandra ba?
For meeting ko ma'am. Okay mong schedule na library.
Okay, question guys. Ano pa ba'y tawag dito sa kuang Google Meeting? Wala na dito tawag siguro. Hello? Questions? Nasabtan lang? Any clarifications? Wala lang. So, kamo na lay bahala sa inyo sa inyong look and feel sa inyong system. So, record management system lang ako. So, in my concern lang dire, I'll be creating something like dire. I will change it to login. To continue na lang. So, you can change whatever in here. It's up to you what are the content you are going to do. So, I'm here. I'll be changing it to login. Login. So, save. Refresh. We have login. So, we'll change the color to login into black. Still the same. That one. And then, we change it to black. To be fixed it, just copy this one and put it in your customized CSS. Then refresh, so it will now have that one. So we have login, that page, login. We change it the link to login or sign in that page. Save. Refresh. So we have now signed in that page. So when we click that one, we sign in that page. Okay, so next thing that we are going to do is to go to the sign in. So in Bootstrap, we have already the template for Bootstrap. So natin mga examples in here. We can have sign in, like, okay, we have sign in page. Okay, we have this one, we already did that. So to ang buhatan, we just grab it for us. We have already that one. Going back on our examples folder and our downloaded Bootstrap, we have signed in. Okay, so all we need to do is in here, copy. You can check it here. We can copy this one and go to our Capstone Directory, and this index.html from the sign in folder will change it to sign in that PHP. Okay, so once we have now that one, we can open it and do the things that we want to. Okay, kaning icon diri, which is your favicon. You can have the logo of your company. You can make an image, pwede na siyang image. Like for example, I'll be creating logo for Nursu. Parang naramay logo for Nursu diri. There's a logo. There's no logo. I'll just download the logo. Just save this one. I'll be saving it in our directories. C, SAM, htdocs, Capstone, images. I'll be Nursu. Okay, so now we can change it, like for example, link rel icon. We can have images like Nursu.png. So we visit on our link, sign in that PHP. Okay, sign that PHP. Sorry. Sign the page. Images, right? images, sorry, link reel, okay, images, most of PNG, is that working? Ay, dili, sakto naman na. I am now on the sign in. All item. Sign in. What I mean, okay. Ay, sorry guys. Sakto din. And sakto. I am confused na nag-error muna ko. So I am signed that PHP and my file is signed in. This is where we have a problem. Signed in PHP. Refresh. Okay. So as you can see in here in the top part, there is a logo icon for Nursu. So this line of code took effect on the sign in the PHP. This one, it took effect. We have now the icon logo. Comparing with the index that there is no logo for Nursu. If you go back in here, as you can see there is the default logo for SAMP. To change that one, use this one. Whatever your image, and use this real icon. So to do that, we have now your icon with your system. Okay, though. Now next is we have to go to the login. So we have now the login. Again, we don't have a connection with the Bootstrap on this page. So all we need to do is go in here and we will change and fix this one. We know that this is on the CSS folder and this is not a minified version. Okay, then save, refresh. So we have now that one. One thing is lacking is we have to put this folder file, copy and paste it on our directory, Capstone CSS template. So that's why we have to organize everything for us to delete the maglibog when development. So we have signed in that CSS. Going back in here, we know that this is inside the CSS folder, template, and then sign in that CSS. So refresh. So we have now already our sign in form. You can change whatever you want to. You can add colors, logo. If you want to, like this one. If you want to change it, you can have. Pwede po logo nimo, images, nursu.png. Save, refresh. You have that. Simple as that for you guys. Yung na lang is how you are going to work on it. So I guess we change it to something like instead of email address we can use username. Okay, and this is text, input username. We change it to input username. Excuse for a while. Hello? Hello? Sige na, nanawag na ako cellphone. I don't know kung cellphone. Sige. Mansa dito. So, it's this one. Hello, hello. Wait sa. For a while. Wait for a while. Kaya na ako i-reply ng message ko. Okay, so we will change to going back here since we changed this one to username. So we will change it to in here instead of input email, input username. You can name it whatever you want. You can just also put username. Pwede na siya username and username text input. You can change also username. It's up to you what is your naming convention. It's up to you. And we have username also. We have password, input password. So I guess we can change it to password and password. I guess. And our UI for username is already done. So questions for the UI. So if we don't have questions for the UI, then we can now proceed. Creating our database, and for creating our first table in our database, which is common to us, is the user table. So wala na siya problema. So we can go to our database. We can use this link localhost/phpMyAdmin. Wait for a while na. See the chat sa YouTube. Okay, so we have now on our phpMyAdmin UI where we can create our database. No, I know you have already used this one as in our previous classes. So we have to create our database in here. I will name it to record management system (RMS) database. So I have now an RMS database. I'll be creating a user table which has siguro I'll just pwede na siya. We have user ID integer, and I have the values of 5, I guess. Auto increment primary key. We have last name, first name, middle name. We have all of those are varchar and limit to 25 and 35 for first name and 25 for the middle name. We can add a lot some information like the type. Okay, so we can have an admin type of account if you have, and you have a user type of account. So it depends on you. In my way of doing this one, I'll set it into values of 1, and I have a default value as defined as -1. When you say -1 user, 1 is admin, example. So I really know who are those user account and admin account. Okay, then we have also another one, date added from the system. So we can have date time. So don't forget to have password. So we have password also. And you can add a password. So we have password. So we have worker again, and we have, I will set it to 100. So I guess I have those information needed in my user account. So once we have here, I have already the user. I have here already the user. Okay, so all we need to do is to whatever in here we have, for example, I have Jhertz, for example, Alejo. When I say sign in, it will look into the database. So what are there is a user Jhertz at Alejo on our database. If they found it on the database, we let the user go to the dashboard. So that is our siguro our main task in this morning, to have a login functionality. So before that, any questions with the creating of database and tables in our PHP My Admin? Wala may problema. Okay, kung wala na problema, I just have unmute one because I cannot switch magod to that mode na. So you can tell me if wala na problema, so we can proceed. Okay, so if wala na, then we can have to proceed. Okay, so all we need first thing is to check the connection. Okay, that is why we have to check the connection. So we were going to create a connection with our database. Okay, wait for a while. Na ay nisulod. Okay. Okay, so we will try to use MySQLi on not the PDO, and then we have to choose it's either object-oriented procedure, or we have also we call it procedural programming. So I guess murag you are really well into procedural. So ato na lang to sa procedural for us to really gather info easy lang. Pwede po tang mo go to object-oriented programming, it's up to you. So I'll be mas nice mo ng object-oriented programming, but if we are not using the approach for PHP sa database na tanggap ga OOP marag lisod lang. So we will just normalize. We will use procedural programming for MySQLi. So first thing that we are going to do is to, on our folder in here, okay, we need to also organize everything. Scripts. Okay, so all the script here are that needed in our project will be saved in here. So this one, it is a connection script, so it will be included in this folder. I'll be creating this folder. I'll be creating dbcon.php. So this is a DB connection. Okay, so this is how we're going to do that. Okay, so first is open close PHP and close PHP. Then we have to create server name, server. Before that, we know that already what is this is the connection script, MySQLi connect. Okay, we need a server, we need a username. Okay, you need a username, you need a password, and lastly you have a database name. So those are the 4 things you need to know to have in order to create connection. So to do that, server, we have our server which is localhost. That is common to us. We have second is the username. There is a default username in phpMyAdmin, and that is root. Default password. The default password is blank. And our DB name that we created a while ago is RMS. It depends on you. What is your name of your database in your project? Once we have now these 4 needed information in order for us to connect in our database, we will, okay, so this is the connection. So we will try to check the connection. Okay, so we will try to check the connection for us to really know if that is working or not. Okay, so if not con, meaning there is something wrong, if there is no connection, okay, we will try to create a variable con. So if not con, meaning there is problem in connecting, we have to echo or die. Okay, connection failed. Okay, then we can add MySQLi connect error. So what are the error for connection for MySQLi? If there is correct connection, else echo, okay, connected, so connected, save. So now to check that one, we know already that this file is inside of the script. Sorry for that. I was okay, na-enable ako ang magnifier. Just continue. So this dbcon is inside the Capstone script. In order to run this file, all we need to do is to go to our URL, localhost capstone. Dayon, we go to script and dbcon.php. As we can see here, we are having an output connected. That means that our connection is correct. If in case that we have a wrong password, we put it D and we don't have that password, so we have an error. And there is an error, connection failed, access denied at user localhost. That is the error. So that means our connection is correct. Okay, so we have now a connection. So once we have now a good connection, we don't need na to always have this one. Okay, if na connection, always connected. So wala na, no need na siya. So later na tarang na siyang wala on. Right now, we want that this file, this dbcon.php, we're always connected to each file na kinahanglan siya. Like for example, this dbcon is needed in this file signin.php, because we don't want that every time that there is a file, we will create connection. So it is a waste of time. So since kinahanglan man siya dire in here, in this file, so all we need to do, okay, is include it. So atas pinakataas, we go have the PHP, because we can have both PHP and HTML file in the PHP file. So in that case, we will include this dbcon inside of the signin.php. We know already that dot dbcon.php is inside of this folder script. So, and the script folder is beside on the index page or sign in the PHP. So we'll just directly call script dbcon.php. Refresh. Now, instead of having this connected on the script dbcon, we can now have it in here. Refresh. We can have it also in here in our sign in.php. So we include, so we don't need not to create that file or to that script in here. We already have it in here by just including connected. That is why when I talk it to you later, earlier, that we don't need na to output if there is a connected, because as a programmer, you know already that is connected. Ang imo na lang ganahan is to have an error if in case someone or something has a problem. For if that is connected, so we don't need na to always tell us that is connected. So we just remove that one so that in here we are disconnected is also omitted. Refresh. So kapulo naman ka na this is connected. So it is now connected. Okay na siya. So once it is being connected, all we need to do is to proceed. Okay, so if there is an information here, like for example jhertz, then we have password Alejo. So once we sign in here, it will look into a particular information in here. So right now I'll be creating information here, ID 1, last name Alejo. We forgot to put username, right, in our database. So it will be after date added, I'll be creating update our table. We don't have a username, so I'll be putting here username varchar, and 50 is good enough for username. So we have now username. So next thing we have to fill out information in here. Okay, Alejo Chan Bernard Torres. Is your regular account, -1. Date added, probably today. And we have username. Okay. Alejo. Password. So for now, that is a simple password. So we have now record in our table, which we have to look into when we log in here. So once we have import some information here, we will check it on the database, on a table, if that is registered. So but first, we gather this information in here. We gather this information. So we grab it. So how we do that? On our form. So we will add action here, and the form will load in itself. So we directly go to sign in that page. So naman po uban po that they will go directly, they will transfer it to another. So probably for you na po uban na po idira pod na ato na lang nato ibutang sa sign in script side pwede po dira po kamo, we can use at the top part for this one. For me, it's really good into na ato na lang tayo practice sa gawas. So once we transfer it, we will going to pass data. So pwede action, we go to script, and we have login that PHP. So login PHP is the script. Okay, so that means in here on the script, this is where it happens for the login. So we have login.php. So in here, we can open the file, add PHP script. In this one, instead of including in here, because this page no longer requires a database connection, ato naman siyang ibato into some file that will look into the login process. So this file is the one to look into the login process. So siya na lang na i-include at PHP. So what happened is that when you log in, when you press sign in, it will go to login.php. It will forward, look into. This is yung kaugalingon. So we will transfer some things. Okay, like we have to required. I think there is a required. Okay, there is a required. So okay lang ang required. So we have also to change this one. You don't need to script the login PHP and the dbcon is already beside each other. That is why we don't need na to put here script. Kung ito na error ganiya, like that one. So ano siya error. So dependent na siya. So this now login file has included the DB connection. So once we transfer file in here, we want that this data, this username, ghertz.alejo, and this one will be transferred on the login.php. So to do that, we will set first. We already have the action, and we have also a method is equal to post. Okay, we have post and get, and we know that what is the name. We have no name for username, so we will add a name for our identifier for our this field type or for this field. So we have to put here username. For this one, this is also for password. Okay, so going here. Okay, next thing that we have to look into also is to really know if the user clicks the button. If the user really clicks the button, because there are some also that they will just hackers that they will go to directly to the script and go to login. Still the same, but all we need to do is to check if this button is clicked. So when we click, we have filled up information. So we have to also add name for this button, and we will name it to sign in BTN or sign in BTN. Now next thing we're going to do is to check if, and this is how we get data from the field, the form. Post. Why post? It is because the method that we used in our form is post. So that is why we use post in here, and we have the name of that button. Echo output if that is being pressed. Okay, click, or else wala na click. Okay, so echo. Okay, we bypass it. You can see the difference by accessing this form. Okay, when we click, okay, it tells us bypass. Bypass na. Sorry guys, sorry, I forgot something. Is set. If set means na-click siya, wala man siya na-click. Okay. So you can see here, we add data and put sign in, that is click. But what if I'll just enter on the URL, it goes bypass. Lahi siya kung imo lang i-enter ang URL or you go directly to click. That helps us to know to really validate that there are someone accessing our file. So safe ato because we don't process login script if wala siya naka-agi og form. So we need the user to really go to the form before logging in. Okay, kani this hacking siya. Intentional hacking. So again, so that means that in here kung i-bypass niya siya, you can just header location. You can have header then you have location index.php. Okay, you can like that one. So kung i-bypass yan nimo, it will go directly to index.php. Kuha ninyo, login. So kung direkta siya o login, it will go directly to the login. So hindi siya malogin siya, so bahala siya. You go directly to a new tab, kasi login, it will go directly to the landing page. Hindi siya palagyan natin. We know directly that it's hacking. So ato siyang ibutang din sa location. If ma-click, that is why we need to cater. We need to store information like the username and the password. So to get the password, the username, we have also how to do that. Post. Okay. And for the password also. Okay. So we know already what are those in a name for that. We have username and password. Respectively. So we have username and password. So that is the time we know already. Okay. So we have also to clean this one, all information. So all in OOP, it's very easy for us to clean fields data from the user. In procedural, we need to make it manual. So the thing for that, we have to also check, validate every inputted user of the account. So sometimes we will use function. So we will create a function at the top, and we have function. We can function name. We can name it a function clean. Okay. Then we have data. So meaning we have to clean the data. So we have ang data nato na isulod diri. It should be HTML special characters. Okay, meaning dili siya masagbutangan og mga slash forward mga script. Usually some of the hackers what SQL injection, where they will create some injection like mga script here for to run, so para makuha ang database. That is why we have to do that one. Then data is equal to trim na to siya. Okay, then data slashes, then data SMS. Okay, strip slashes. Okay, data. Then we have to return data. So in order a data that will go into this function clean, it makes it clean. So atong buhaton, we'll create a variable clean. Clean username is equal to clean username. So meaning kaniya tong username, we pass into this username and it will go into the several steps for cleaning. Also, for clean password, equal to clean, and we have to put variable password. It will clean now. So this in here, this data here is it was clean because naagi siya sa function na clean. So it's now safe for going to the database. So safe na siya. Cleaning the data. Cleaning the data. So kani siya is a raw data man so from inside the form. So we need to check if that is clean data or a raw data. Once we have now a clean data, that is the time we have to so that's the time we can use now the DB connection. So dili na nato gamitin si DB connection. So while we have now the DB connection, all we need to do is the script to know if unsa man. Okay? So this is the query. Okay, we can have select all. Okay, from users table. Well, we have users table in our database. In here, we have users table. Oh, yo, we have user. Wala S, so we have user. Where? So what are those where clause? So from table user where username is equal to clean username and password is equal to clean password. So we have now the script. Many solid. Okay, so we have now the script. So select all from user where username is equal to plain username and password. Okay, asa na password na akong gibulong in my database. We have username here. I have here password. So I have here username is equal to that one, to this one, and password. So once we have now that, because we already include the connection, so we have to run the script. So how we're going to do that for procedural programming? So we have here a query. So we have MySQLi query. We have two arguments here, supply. First is the database connection and the SQL. So kaya ito running SQL statement. So the first is the connection. The connection is inside the dbcon. As you can see here, this is the connection, variable con. We can use that one here, variable con. And second statement is the SQL statement, so SQL statement. So this is now our query. So we have now our query. So to check, so kung naa ba siya, so meaning nasa equal into 1. Kaya kung wala siya, it's equal to 0. So 1 and 0 naman siya. If makita ni mo na siya na username is equal to 1. If wala, it's equal to 0. So this is how we were going to check. If query, so if query, we can have if MySQLi query numRows, or we can have MySQLi numRows is equal to query. Okay, then is equal to 1. If is equal to 1, meaning user found. Else, meaning it is 0, di pa may tabo magka-duplicate ang username because we will going to validate it after registration. So, di siya pwede mag-double. So, it's either 1 or 0. 1 if you find it, 0 is not. So, user not found. So, that's the script to check the user. So, we will try. Okay. So, refresh. You can name it whatever you want. Sign in. Okay, and this data, assume data, metro, line number 67799, that's what it is, 7 strip slashes. Sorry for that, we have variable data. There is variable data. Sorry for that. Okay, assume data, line number 9. Sorry for that also. Issue variable. So user not found. Okay. It is because we don't have a username and password of like that one in our record. Because we all have what is our in a database. We have zhearts.alejo and password. So to do that, okay, zhearts.alejo. Isagin mo pa na butang password na nalain, it will just user not found because it must be together that it should be a username of zhearts.alejo and a password of password. So what if I will try to correct one? Okay, correct na yun save. Okay, so we have zhearts.alejo and password. Sign in. As you can see here, we have already user found. So once it is user found, by the way, any question with this query? Any question with this query? Or walay problema? Guys, no problem? No question? Question? Hello guys, nako mo dire? Siguro mag-okay ron na kasi wala na mo nakuha. Okay, so user found. If that is user found, then we will going to what any questions we will now move forward. We have 12 minutes left. So we have header, location, and we will going to look into ako siya ibutang sa to ang dashboard with PHP. Okay, so kay padulong na siya, palagin na nakalagin na siya. Pero if here if naa siya problema, so atong buhaton, ibalik na siya sa, we will go, let him fix that error. So you go to the location, it will go back to signed in that PHP. And we send error like E is equal to, for example, I will say error E, and we have invalid username and password, or invalid no user not found. Say user not found. Okay. Then try it again. Try it again. So we have here an error. So what happened in here, going back, just concentrate with the URL. So as you can see, okay, 31, there is an error. We don't have, we forget to put semicolon. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sign in. As you can see here, there is an information presented on the URL. So we will going. So kung sa iyang password dire, sayop man, mubalik siya sa login, and we will try to put an error here. This error we're going to put siguro in here, inside or in here. So to do that, we are going to go to our signin.php, and in here siguro have a PHP script checking if iset, if na-set ang variable, okay, variable get na right, as we can set in here in our login, variable na siya. So if that is the case, we have to echo, i-echo ra nato si get ato pa siyang i-echo, problem, i-echo lang nato siya. But ibutang nato siya into a alert. So ato siyang ibutang og alert. Probably we can insert in here, tab nato. Now we have span class alert, alert danger, and we'll close that span. Okay, save, refresh. Okay, I have an error. Why the learn if he said okay. Ay, we don't need na siguro but it's sabotable na siguro sa URL. We'll try it again. Line number N. Found sign in. Again, line number 36. On our sign in. Echo. Sorry for that. Okay. So, user not found. Try it again. So, you have that one. Okay, sayop na sign in. Ato ra siyang ipamaba. We want not to. Okay, what happened, mga good? What happened? We will fix this one first. If there is no response, like this one, there is a little box in here. So, we don't want to see it. So, instead of, since na may if dire na, o sa execute, so that is the time. We will, if there is an if statement, so, ato naman siya din gamitan in here. So, we can put here, like that one, colon lang. Okay, what is the difference between having those here and we cannot use single quotation or double quotation. Okay, mag-debug siya. It is because we already did use a single quotation in here, a double quotation in here. So to solve that one, it's either we will change this one into single quotation, okay, tana, or we can have double quotation inside, single quotation in here, outside. Still the same. Just concatenate lang nato, add also this span instead of ato siyang HTML, i-embed into PHP like that one, so that our problem here na wala siya wala mo tungha ra siya if in case there is an error. Close, amazing, right? So pwede siya, it's pwede pud mo na since maglisod mo like inani na style. You can also like you can also use this style like you close this PHP in here. Remember, this is the okay. You close that one, but not really removing this one. And also we open this PHP in here. Ana. So in order to support this to continue the script, okay, ang imong ato na lang buhaton is to really go with this one, span. So dili mo maglisod ba for using the HTML and CSS. So we have that you have now the full favor in writing your full HTML. So a PHP imorang gibuak siya because a PHP is very flexible language. You can break it as long as you want to, as long as you put open, close, and closing, open statement and closing statement. So ganiya usara siya na mo siyang duhanan. It's here and here, but all in all it's only one script. So we have now the freedom to embed or HTML, full HTML, that one. So karon we can put inside in here another PHP to echo the output itong variable get in, that one. So from one single line PHP, it will make it to 3 opening and closing PHP script. But which is good to see. Mas nindot siya compare atong ganihan. But it's still the same. Okay, it's error naman. Code what happened because of this. I forgot to put A. Okay, so still the same. Wala siya. Okay. So kani it's overlapping. We can easily do that one. We just add top. We have MT5 for example. Margin top 5. Meaning M is margin, T for 5. So we have here. So okay. What man lagi siya ni gana. We have MT3. Okay. So what happened? I will try to use the lang give instead of span for nicer and effective. Okay. That's what I am looking for. Instead of span because the kumugod and div element compared to span, so span small. Okay, so that's it. So we have problem. Okay, we have user not found. Okay, any questions so far? We will continue this one at 1 p.m. So we have already created a simple login checking first. So next thing that we are going to do is to continue with the dashboard. So question. Question guys, para makapanood to na ta. Sige. Okay, so one like questions, we will see each other. We'll see each other at 1, probably 1:10. I will just chat. Okay? Sige, thank you for coming. Pwede rapod. Okay, so thank you for coming. We will see each other again this afternoon. Okay, bye-bye. Take a lunch.